Welcome to Thailand retirement. Oh, this is a story that has been unfolding for many months now, and it seems to have gone from bad to worse. So, I want to update you on what's going on here. He's been living there for several years. He's married to a Thai woman. They have children together, and he's running some sort of an online business, trading stocks, cryptocurrency, whatever. And he became famous or infamous a couple of years ago when he did a Reddit I am gone. Share with you some additional resources that you can check out to learn more about this story. This article says Sam Baker, the founder of was moved to a temporary prison facility in Bangkok after the corrections department transferred him from the Bangkok remand prison. She received a phone call from Sam Baker at around 6:30 p.m. on Monday, November 28th, but he told her not to come to pick him up because he would be staying there for 2 to 3 days. Baker said he was fine and would call her again once he had more information. On November 28th, Sam Baker was taken from Bangkok remand prison to a temporary prison facility in Bangkok after the corrections department transferred him. It says Bangkok remand prison, which houses both men and women, has a reputation for being overcrowded, dirty, and dangerous. It est one of the most notorious prisons in the country, with reports of inmates sleeping while standing and others forced to use toilets in the open. So, yeah, definitely not a very pleasant place to stay. Temporary prison facilities are used to house inmates awaiting transfer to permanent prisons. And in that Reddit AMA, he was telling everyone how great it is to live in Thailand. This website has been following this story closely, and they have dozens of articles on there related to this guy and his problems in Thailand. You know, we're always looking for ways to save money, looking for ways to reduce our taxes and increase our wealth, trying to find places where we can reduce our tax liability, trying to find places where we can protect our assets. We need to do it the right way. We need to work with the right professionals. We need to make sure that everything is above board. Otherwise, we're going to end up like this guy in a Thai prison. But we have to do it within the bounds of the law. Also, remember to subscribe. You'll definitely want to be notified when I release future videos. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below. I do my best to answer every single question. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And what this guy did, he didn't do it within the bounds of the law, and now he's paying the price. And it's a hefty price. He's gonna be in jail for 7 years. Who knows how much money he's spent on lawyers already. So, if you want to learn more about this story, this is a great resource. I'm going to put a link to this website in the description below. Definitely check it out if you want to learn more about this story. That's the latest update. First of all, if you want to watch my first video on this topic, you can click right here. This video is going to take you back to January of 2022, and that is where I covered the story for the very first time. So, definitely check that out if you want to learn more. I thought I should just share that with you. I hope this video has been helpful. Basically portraying Thailand as a tax haven, as a place where you can go and avoid paying taxes by setting up a company and all that kind of stuff. 2022. So, basically, what happened is that he was in that temporary holding facility for like 2 or 3 days. Lawyer Sirakan Sithasarawat filed the appeal on behalf of 38 inmates on December 2nd, requesting the court reduce their sentences. So, it looks like they're retrying to appeal the sentence, and also this lady who has his lawyer is asking for the transfer of 38 other inmates as well. So, maybe they'll move them somewhere else. But it looks like Sam Baker was moved to this prison in northern Thailand, and then they shipped him off to this other prison up north. And a lot of people listened to him. A lot of people went to Thailand because of his advice, and then they got screwed. Now, if you're not familiar with this story, basically, there's a foreigner who lives in Thailand. So, I wonder why they moved him up there. Maybe they just have a lot of room there. Maybe it's easier to keep track of him there, or who knows. They took away his passport and he has been languishing in a Thai prison ever since, and he is unable to leave. The most recent update that we had is that he has been transferred to a different prison in Thailand, because they remove in the prison, and so now he is in solitary confinement in another prison. It's just really getting from bad to worse. But what happened is that eventually the Thai authorities came down on him and they put him in jail. If you go and set up a company in a foreign country in order to save money, in order to avoid paying taxes, make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you have the right professionals helping you out, and do you and listen to some random guy on Reddit because he may have been able to get away with it for a while. But eventually, the long arm of the law caught up with him, and he is now looking at 7 years in a Thai prison. And I've talked about this story before, because I think it is one of those stories that everyone needs to be aware of. what I want to do is I want to go through some of the latest news reports that are coming out, tell you exactly what's going on, and then at the end of this video, okay? So let's get into the details. On November 27th, Sam Baker's wife, Porntip, said her husband was transferred to the temporary prison facility. Then this article from December says Sam Baker, the crypto trader convicted for tax evasion, was sent to serve his 7-year prison term at the Chiang Mai Central Prison in northern Thailand on Tuesday, December 6th. Now, I found this other article that says the transfer came after his lawyers filed an appeal with the Supreme Court's Criminal Division for 38 inmates, including Sam Baker. I don't know the exact location of that prison, but if you look on Google Maps, you can see that Chiang Mai is pretty much up north in Thailand, pretty remote. Now, this next article talks about the conditions in the prison where he was previously being held, and it doesn't sound very good. And I guess since he was in solitary confinement in the previous prison, it might be a little bit better over at this new prison, but I don't know. So, yeah, that's where he's at right now. Now, if you want to learn more about this story, I'm going to share with you a couple of different resources. If you want to read these articles that I just shared with you, I'm going to put links to them in the description below. Finally, I want to share with you this website called terrytoread.com. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I think this is such an important story, because it can happen to any one of us. So, I hope this story acts as a warning to all of us that, when we're trying to find offshore havens. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you do, please hit the like button. That really helps me out.